My name is Brent Jansen. I'm here with High School 101. And we're going to talk about the course selection process. This last week I had an incredible opportunity to sit down with many of my students as they began to think about which courses they'd like to enroll in for next year. And as we began to talk, we were able to come up with 4 major considerations when selecting courses. Now, as a high school freshman, your first priority has got to be towards working to complete your graduation requirements. But as you move through your high school career, you're going to find yourself with opportunities to take electives, to start taking classes that you'd like to find out more about. And as you begin to think about that, you should first spend some time thinking about your interests. Which courses so far have you really enjoyed? Which subjects would you like to continue to explore and find more about? Or which skill sets would you really like to learn? And as you begin to think about your interests and what you'd like to study, you should then refer to the program of studies. The program of studies showcases all the opportunities here at the high school and the levels at which they're going to be offered. They're going to give you a brief description of what you could expect, but that's not going to be enough. You really got to go a little bit further. You should talk with students who have taken the course, students who are enrolled in the course, but you got to ask them the right kind of questions. What would you expect from taking the course? What's the kind of work that you're going to be asked to complete over a night, a week? What are the tests like? What are the projects like? What's the teacher style? Are they more of a lecture style, or are they more of an inquiry-based style? Get to know as much as you can about that course, about specifically who's teaching the course, so you can figure out whether that will align with your style of learning. And as you begin to think about those courses and have those conversations, you then need to go and talk with the teacher. I just yesterday sat down with a girl who was asking me questions about the Advanced Placement Economics course that I teach. And she was starting to ask some of the right questions. Like, for example, what's the difference between that and the honors level course? What will I be exposed to at the advanced placement level that I would not be exposed to at the honors level? And those are great questions. And those are going to help her make a better decision at the end. Now, she wasn't exactly comfortable taking the advanced placement course. She was unsure about whether or not she'd find success. But by able to ask questions about the course and see whether or not it piqued her curiosity or interest, she's going to make a better decision. And as she makes her decision, she's going to need to think about the type of challenge that she wants to take on. Will she take on that advanced placement challenge, or is she going to go and focus her efforts on the honors level course? Everything points to challenge. You need to think about how you want to position yourself for the future. Now, I went off and looked at a number of the collegiate websites, Harvard, Tufts, Stanford, MIT, and each one of them talked about the course selection process. And they asked that students really think about challenging themselves both appropriately and continually over their high school career. They also said that that doesn't mean that you have to take all advanced placement level courses or all honors level courses. That's why they said appropriate. Because if I'm somebody who's not all that comfortable, well, I need to learn how to get more confidence. And therefore, I need to take the classes that are going to help me build on that confidence. But you do need to eventually challenge yourself and get outside your comfort zone so that you can be exposed to some various skills and challenges and try to overcome them. So challenging oneself is really important, and that's why the course selection process speaks volumes as to who you are as a student. Are you the type of student who's willing to take on a challenge, or if you've been looking for the easy route? Colleges look to that for sources of information about who you are as an individual. And as you begin to think about that, you have to ask yourself, well, if I keep taking on these courses at the challenging levels, am I going to be able to meet the commitments? And that's why the conversation with the teacher is going to be important, because you want to know if you're going to be able to meet the expectations of the course. If you know you're involved in athletics or in clubs or in jobs outside of the school that are going to take a lot of your time, then you really got to think about balancing your school schedule. Because I see so many students who take 4, 5, or more advanced placement courses or even honors courses and are struggling. They're up all night trying to complete the work. They come in the next day, they're exhausted, they're tired from spending so much time studying and preparing. In fact, some of them are still trying to finish that work in my class for their next period because they couldn't get it all done. And that's not going to be healthy. We got to make sure that our students are healthy. They're healthy in their mind, emotion, and body. Because anybody who's going to take on these challenges and be asked to complete all this work has got to be able to manage the stresses that come along with it. So really think about those commitments and making sure that you can meet them and go beyond the expectation. As you also look at your schedule, make sure that it demonstrates that you're getting the appropriate experiences so that you'll have success at college. Many students don't take the right kind of challenges during their high school years, where it's a safe and secure environment to experiment and see kind of where you are, to test yourself. But when you go off to college, you should have that confidence that you can work at that level and that rigor. And that's why taking an advanced placement course at least once in your high school career could be really important for helping shape your collegiate experience, because you'll be exposed to that level of rigor. So if you have an ambition to go off to college, you really need to spend a lot of time thinking about the levels in which you're taking. Are they going to help you be prepared for the collegiate experience? Now, one more thing on the collegiate readiness. Colleges like Harvard, Tufts, MIT, Stanford, almost all of them want to see individuality, not clones. There's no magic recipe for what they're looking for. And too many students say, oh, take this, it looks good on a college application. Well, that may look good if it's good for you, if that's what you want to study. They want to see the story. Who are you? Who do you want to be? So that's where you really need to spend time thinking about which electives you're going to want to take, which clubs you're going to want to participate in, which athletic programs you're going to want to try out. But as you go through your high school career, it should begin to tell a story about who you are and what you like to study. So as you begin to think about this course selection process, spend the time talking about all of these issues with your parents, with your friends, and the teachers. Find out as much as you can so that you can make the right choice. I hope to hear from you about what considerations you make when selecting courses, making sure that you're college ready. So please leave us some feedback on highschool101.net. Again, that's highschool101.net. You can contact me there, and I could share with you some more guidelines and questions that'll help you make the best decision for your high school experience and position you well for the future. Until next time, I'm Brent Jansen, and this is High School 101.